a short video module on how to attract talent to your consulting team. Consultants sell themselves based on their expertise. When clients look at whether to hire your firm or yourself over others, they often look at your pedigree, your experience, your talent, what companies you worked for, what projects you've completed. So being able to attract talent to your team is really a competitive advantage. It can make a big difference in how successful your consulting firm is and how profitable it is over time. So I'm going to give you some quick tips, actually 4 quick tips on how to attract more talent to your team. A couple of these are relatively common sense. Others might be ones that you have experienced or seen happen, but hopefully let's kind of reinforce some ideas that are really important to keep in mind. Just make sure you're actually practicing them in your consulting firm. One of my favorite business trainers, Wyatt Woodsmall, always says that most of us already know more than we need to know. It's just doing it that's so important. So this video is more of a reminder of doing the things that are going to attract talent to your team. So the first thing is responsibility. You want to give people who join your team some autonomy, have them be ahead of a service line, have them be ahead of managing a client. This does a couple of things. First, it allows them to more quickly expand their resume, expand their experience set. And second, more importantly, as a consulting firm, you're a knowledge-based business, and if everything, including how to manage the clients, how to get new clients, exactly how to pitch clients within RFPs, if that's all in your head and you haven't allowed anyone on your team to take on those responsibilities, then your firm is only going to grow so quickly. On the other hand, if you let people be somewhat autonomous and run some service lines or clients or departments in your consulting firm, then it's more likely to free up your time while also keeping that person at your firm longer term. Now, the reason they would want to stay longer term is because they're getting more valuable experience, and hopefully by managing some of these higher level projects for you and getting really good at that over time, they'll be worth more money to you, and you'll end up paying them more over the long term. The second thing I want to get to in terms of attracting talent to your team is having really unique benefits. Everybody offers medical and dental and some sort of small retirement benefit. But what other types of unique benefits could you add so that when people come to your team, it's almost like the benefits were shaped around their very needs? For example, I know on Google Campus they have free childcare, they have 7 different restaurants, I think they have a massage parlor, they have a bunch of different things, including education reimbursement. And people are really excited to work there because of all of those benefits, plus stock options, of course. I also know some small, high-tech firms that are really targeting ambitious, hardworking people that are still in their 20s, and so the benefits they've decided to add, was a cell phone reimbursement benefit, a gym membership reimbursement benefit, an Xbox Live subscription, as well as medical, dental, retirement. So if you can figure out what age group, is it people in their 20s and 30s that are generally being attracted to your firm? Is it all different types of people? People that live in your city, are there a lot of outdoor activities, lots of people go out to eat? You can figure out different benefits that are really going to be catered to the group you're trying to attract, and then by focusing on that group, you're kind of speaking to them directly with these benefits that are crafted for their type of person, and that's going to bring more people to your business that you're actually desiring, instead of just having more of a random mix, or having people join and say, yeah, medical and dental, it's great, but it's definitely nothing that's going to keep me here, because everybody offers that. So offering something really unique in the benefits area can definitely be something that convinces people to switch jobs and work for you instead, or maybe even more importantly, stay with your consulting firm after they've been well trained and versed in how you do business. The last thing you want them to do is say, well, medical benefits, not too big a deal, I never use my dental benefits, I'm just going to start my own company and I can figure out my own medical benefits. That's what you don't want to happen. So having the unique benefits package is really important. The last 2 ideas are a little bit more unique. The first one is to use websites like guru.com and elance.com to identify experts and use them on a contract basis. Guru.com and elance.com allow you to put out a bid for a project, specify exactly which skills you require. If you want to, you could say 10 years experience required, 20 years experience required, must have skills in supply chain management, process design, project management, must be certified in ABC, must have a degree in this or this. And if you do all that, then you'll have people apply for the positions. There's millions of experts, contractors, and gurus on these two websites, and if you put a project out there, you'll almost always get responses, and oftentimes it's absolutely free to put a project out there. It's free to pay those experts. It costs very little to nothing to use these websites, yet you can usually access an expert for 50 to 80% less than it would cost if you hired them as a consultant by contacting them through their direct website. And the reason why that is if you're going to hire a new consultant for a supply chain management project and you put a bid out, you put a project out there, people are competing against each other on their bids. They want to submit a competitive bid, or somebody else might outbid them. So because of the bidding system, you might get somebody at $30 an hour instead of $55 an hour. And over time, that can make a huge difference. The other great thing about attracting talent to your team through elance.com and guru.com is that typically when people submit a project, it's being submitted because you've already laid out exactly what the project terms were, what you've expected, what should be the components of the project, and if their work doesn't meet those points, then you can send it back to them and say, we have this agreed on written contract through the website, and you haven't met that yet, so we can't release payment until you meet that. And so it's kind of a safe system to do business, because you're protected from someone over Craigslist or a consultant who just has a website out there and you didn't go through one of these websites. You might just be arguing with them back and forth, and maybe you forgot to put it in writing. These websites make you put it in writing, so that makes it really easy as well. And then the last benefit of using this type of service is that you can try people out on a contract basis. If you want to hire a consultant, sometimes they'll want a full-time position, or they won't be available because they're working for a different consulting firm. But people who are on these websites are naturally looking for contracting work. It's what they're out to do, so they naturally will be open to working on short-term projects. It could even be a long-term project that just is low hours per week. Maybe it's only 7 hours a week for the next 3 years. So those are all definitely possibilities and all benefits of using this type of service. Now, the last tip is probably one of the most unique and powerful tips for attracting talent to your team, and this is to identify local retired executives and retired consultants in your community that have huge, valuable bases of knowledge. Maybe they have 30 years, 40 years working as an operational manager or an executive in supply chain management, or even working at a big consulting firm, in another big city where they're paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Now that they're retired, they might be enjoying golf and travel, but would like to be doing something fun, something a little challenging, something business related, something to keep them current and to work on day to day. And they could be perfect people to work on 1 or 2 consulting projects within your firm. They could work for 5 hours a week, 20 hours a week, 12 hours a week. But the point is, you can usually access a retired executive or retired consultant who has the maximum amount of value possible, or the maximum amount of experience possible, for far less than you'd have to pay if you were hiring them in the height of their career when they had 20 offers on the board and they're looking to work 60 hours a week. Because now they're retired, they're looking for something flexible, something that looks fun, something engaging and challenging. So this won't always be true. Some retired executives might charge more than while they're working full-time, but many times I've seen that if you make it flexible and enjoyable for them and give them projects they enjoy and they're passionate about, you can often get great value for the amount you have to pay per hour for their expertise. I hope you enjoyed these 4 quick tips. The first one was to give the consultant that you're hiring a ton of responsibility. It'll lighten the weight on your back and hopefully keep them a bit more loyal. The next benefit, or the next tip, is to custom define the benefits to be a package that's really valuable to the type of talent you're trying to attract. The next tip is to make sure that you at least consider using websites such as elance.com and guru.com and hire consultants and contracts through those websites. And the last tip is to consider hiring retired executives and retired consultants so that you can gain their huge levels of expertise on a flexible basis, hopefully for less than you'd otherwise have to pay in the marketplace. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, this is businesstraining.com, where you can earn master's level qualifications to double your compensation.